Try to take off with the guap, they gon' make your body flop. Is you feeling like a savage? Cause I'm feeling like a savage.
What up, guys? Beard Bros with the first annual 33 for 33 series, NFL's 2022 season predictions. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. We're starting this series pretty new. It's our first time around. We did our first episode yesterday. Let's continue this on with the Atlanta Falcons.
The ATL, baby. The good old ATL.
A little backstory. They signed Mariota in the offseason. They drafted Drake London, their first round pick from USC. And as well as they had the rookie last year, Kyle Pitts. And then they also finished the season on a 2-game losing streak, but still finished 7-10.
Mm-hmm.
So
obviously missed the playoffs. 7-10, you're not making the playoffs. It's obvious.
You never know. One of these days they might. Anyways, so ATL, I guess just a bit of my own opinion. I feel like they're going for it a little bit, but I also think they're in the rebuild stage.
Mm-hmm.
Mariota, this is probably his last chance at starting for a team. So he's got to make the most of it. And he has week 1 against the Saints at home. So what do you got?
I have them actually beating the Saints. I think they come out, play pretty good against a secondary that I can't tell you who's their starting corner. So, and I think Drake London is going to be an elite wide receiver in this league. Big, fast. I think he got what he takes, but I think they take that game 1 for sure.
I also have the Falcons winning game 1. I just think the Saints won't go into too much depth, but they are on the rebuild side more than the Atlanta Falcons. I like the look of Mariota coming back again after being, signed with the Raiders for the last few years now, and he's looked on the up and up, and I think they're going to start off with the W in Atlanta to go 1-0.
Yes. Then they go to the West Coast and plays the Super Bowl champions, Rams. I don't think they are good enough to beat the Rams. They are, like you said, on a rebuild. Their quarterback situation is middle of the pack, if not bottom of the pack. I don't know what we're getting out of Mariota right now. So I think they lose due to the fact that I don't think they have enough weapons to beat this team.
I as well think that the Rams are going to win this game. I just think they're the better of the two teams.
Oh, by far.
I think just with Mariota, I think the Saints are on their level where it might be a close game. This game, I don't think so. Defense is better than them. Offense is better than them. Special teams probably a little bit better. We'll see what can happen. I'm interested in seeing Cordell Patterson with Marcus Mariota, see if Kyle Pitts becomes something promising. So right now I got him 1-1. Staying on the West Coast, you're going to travel up north towards Seattle to versus the Seattle Seahawks for their 3rd game of the season. What do you got?
I think they are going to be able to pull out a W against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's quarterback is worse. Their wide receivers are pretty much even. And then Cordell Patterson's what makes the difference on that offensive end. So I think they have enough to beat the Seattle Seahawks with the weak defense on their side.
Yeah, I too have the Seattle Seahawks falling to the Atlanta Falcons. I know it's a Seattle home game, but unfortunately they're not who they used to be. They are rebuilding. I like Mariota still. I think they're going to be a little bit more explosive. Probably not much defense, but offense is going to be tough to stop. So I like Seattle losing this game.
Okay. And then they go back home to play the Cleveland Browns. What do you think about this one?
I actually think it's going to be a good game. I like what both teams have as weapons-wise. But I also like the Browns' defense more. I just think they got more on the defensive end. When it comes to Myles Garrett, I think they just signed Clowney back. They got decent corners. I like Cleveland in this game, even though they are on the road. I just think they present a little bit more than what Atlanta has, especially coming from 2 West Coast games and then all the way back East Coast to Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's a lot to do. So I'm giving the Browns the win and Atlanta the loss.
I have the Browns beating the Atlanta Falcons. I think their running back's gonna, they're better offensively, and they're in a dome. Amari Cooper plays better in warm situations, and even if they have Baker Mayfield playing, I think they take the W.
That's true. Staying on the East Coast, not far from home, they traveled down south to Tampa Bay to verse Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Who do you got and why?
I have the Buccaneers. I have them for one particular reason, and it's because they have Tom Brady and that solid team that they have. Only downfall is I don't see any downfall really against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady has not lost to Atlanta even before the last Super Bowl where he came back on them. Mm-hmm. Outside of Tom Brady, though, the Buccaneers are just superior on all aspects. They're better wideouts, better tight ends, better line, better defense, better coaching, better quarterback. So for that, unfortunately, for Atlanta, they will be taking back-to-back losses, which then moves them to, I believe, 2 and 3 for me.
Same. Then they go home to play the 49ers in October 16th game. So I have Atlanta losing again, unfortunately. Think what you said about the Bucs is the same equivalent to the 49ers. They just have better every situation, every position, every coaching staff. I think they're just better overall.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and simple. 49ers are the better of the two teams.
Easily.
No matter who they have at quarterback, Kyle Shanahan is just a quarterback guru. I like their defense more too. I know they're traveling to Atlanta, but that doesn't like hinder good teams from winning. So I got Atlanta now on a 3-game losing streak, as well as taking their 4th loss of the season so far.
Yep, same.
Moving forward, they're going to move up north to Cincinnati to verse the defending AFC champs in the Bengals and Joe Burrow. Who do you got and why?
I have the Bengals, and it's because Joe Burrow and that number 1 guy are really good together. I don't think your corners and your defense is good enough to stop the onslaught they're going to put on. I think they're just a good team. They proved it last year in the playoffs, and I believe they're going to just prove it against Atlanta Falcons.
I, too, have the Bengals winning. They're at home. They are outdoors. Atlanta's going to be used to indoors, especially Mariota. He's been in Las Vegas and Oakland the last couple of years, so he's used to being in the dome, but cold weather is a bit different, which he played in Tennessee, and we've seen that it kind of hurt him. I don't think it'll be too cold. It's only October, end of October, but nonetheless, you're going to be in Cincinnati playing outside. They're the defending AFC champs.
Yeah.
I think they got something to prove. And Atlanta's one of those teams that you prove that you're an elite team. You're a good team. You may not go back to the Super Bowl, but you want to prove like these mediocre teams to subpar teams, they're not that good. So I think Atlanta travels and unfortunately loses.
Yep. And then they go home to play a division rival, the Carolina Panthers, at the end of October. I have them actually winning this game. Panthers don't have a quarterback. They barely have wide receivers. There's a guy that runs the ball that sometimes don't run the ball for them. I think Atlanta has enough positional players as Pitts, London, and Cordell to score enough points to win this game.
So what I've learned in the past is when it comes to Carolina and Atlanta, they decide to beat each other at each other's homes.
Oh, shit.
So I have Carolina actually winning this game against Atlanta.
So you got them on a 5-game
I
losing?
got them on a 5-gamer. Unfortunately, they just, again, it's just one of those things where you match up with teams that are division rivals.
Yeah.
They know you. You know them. I'd like to pick Atlanta because they're at home, but I just think Carolina squeaks this one out. It's probably going to be a little close, and I think that's who I got.
Okay.
Moving forward, they do stay home against the LA Chargers, hosting Justin Herbert and the elite offense.
Yes.
Who do you got and why?
I have the Chargers for the same reason for the last 4 before the Panthers. They're just better. They're just, unfortunately, they haven't made the playoffs with Herbert, but I think they're good enough to beat an Atlanta Falcon team.
Same. I think Chargers do beat the teams that aren't as good as them. They have a tendency of doing that. I know they're traveling pretty far East Coast, but nonetheless, it's still a team that they should put away fairly easy. So I think they also go to Atlanta and beat the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes. Halfway point, I have them at 3-6.
Halfway point, I have them at 2-7. They're not looking too hot.
Okay, then they go to the Carolina Panthers. I have them actually sweeping the Panthers this year.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I not a very big fan of the Panthers this year. I can't tell you any reason behind that. I just feel like they're not going to be in a contention for a win this year. So
Okay. Well, I have Atlanta winning this game. I kind of hedged my bet earlier in the previous couple picks. I have Atlanta finally getting out of that losing streak. I think they went like 6 in a row. But that's part of the game.
It is.
I like Mariota, but I also thought he was in a position to win when he did go in. He had weapons. He wasn't the guy. It's easy to kind of not have as much pressure. When you are the guy, there is pressure. Unfortunately, the pressure is getting to him, I think, at this point. But he ends up breaking a streak and finally gets a win to move them to 3-7.
not bad.
Moving forward, they go back home against the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields, very young team. I'm not sure what the direction they're really going in. Rebuild, maybe, because they just let one of their weapons go.
2.
One of them got hurt.
Yeah, it's
So,
like it's crazy.
Nonetheless, who do you got and why?
I have the Atlanta Falcons. Reasons you just named, they have no players that I could name besides their quarterback. So, as that being said, I think Atlanta has a few players that offensively that could score pretty easily. So I'm going Atlanta.
I know we had mentioned that we're not picking like super big games, but I think this is going to be one of those big games. Like you're going to watch it and it's going to be like, dang, that was a sick game, like fantasy wise. I don't think either team has defense.
Oh, no.
They're in a dome. There's no weather factors whatsoever. Justin Fields, I think, is electric. He just needs more time and weapons. But I think this is one of those games that Mariota is possibly going to be able to squeak in. So I'm going to give him the dub on this win. Ends up getting 2 in a row. People are like, oh, hey, maybe Mariota got it. Who knows? But I also give Atlanta the win at home against the Bears.
Makes sense. It just looks like a good
Matchup.
matchup on the paper. Yeah, it looks good for them. They go to the Washington Commanders. First time we hear their name
Yes,
pop up.
sir. The Commanders, they are traveling over there to verse Carson Wentz in a what I'd call very stout defense. One that's probably elite in the NFL right now.
Beautiful
Obviously,
defense.
we'll know by this time, 12, 13 weeks in, we'll see. Off paper or on paper, the Commanders just seem like the better team. I know there's been rumors of other things. We won't get into that until we get to them, which probably might be a while. I have the Commanders winning this game. They are at home. They are the better defense. They have at least a decent offense. So I have Atlanta traveling to Washington and unfortunately dropping another game.
Yeah, I have the Commies. I think, like you said, defense-wise, they're elite. Possibly top 5 by this time. We'll know if they're top 5. Only questions about them is Carson Wentz. We won't get into that, obviously. But I don't think Mariota is going to be able to weather the storm against that defense. I don't think he's going to be the Mariota we want him to be. He hasn't done it on my schedule, and I don't think he's going to do it against the Commanders.
Agreed.
December 4th. Oh, home game versus the Steelers. Good game. What do you think about this one?
This one's hard to pick. Steelers don't have a quarterback. They drafted a rookie. They have Snell. They lost Juju. We're not sure too much about the Steelers right now, but I also don't know what we know. If my prediction's what true, Atlanta's not that good. I also like Tomlin. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league, and just for that fact, they're not traveling too far to Atlanta. It's in clean, cool dome weather.
Yep.
I got Steelers handing the Atlanta Falcons their 9th loss.
I have them also beating the Atlanta Falcons. Because by this time I think we'll know if Pickett is good or not, and I think with Claypool and the other guys on that offense with Najee, I think they could pull a win out against the Falcons. So I think they lose to the Falcons.
All right, moving forward, Week 14, that is Atlanta Falcons bye week, so we'll just skip right over that. We're going to move into the December 17th and 18th. I guess they're splitting the game up in 2 days. They're traveling over to the New Orleans Saints, also in a dome. I had them winning their very first game against the Saints, and I am going to give them the sweep against the Saints in 2022. I think they're just the better of the two teams right now. Not saying much, but they do get another win, moving them to 5-9 for me.
I have them actually losing to the Saints. I think the Saints with Jameis Winston, I believe that's their quarterback, Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, I think they could pull one out. I don't think they're going to get swept by the Falcons, so I got the Saints beating them. The next game at Baltimore Ravens, Big Trust. That's a good one. I feel like that's going to be a good game, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why so?
I think the Ravens' offense isn't as good as we think it is. I think they won't be able to score as much as we want them to, like how they normally are. But I think they still take the dub. I think Ravens still win.
So you're giving the Falcons another loss. You got them winning. Okay, yeah, I don't agree with the Ravens not being able to score. I think the Ravens are a team to be reckoned with. Won't get into too much details, but I just think they're one of those teams that look at the Falcons and say, "You're not better than me. You're nobody." So I am gonna give Atlanta their 10th loss of the season.
I think I'm at 10 as well.
Moving forward, they're traveling back home. Beginning of the year, New Year's Day against the Cardinals, but I've already hedged my bet. I had the Cardinals winning. What'd you have?
I had the Cardinals winning as well.
So we both have them getting another loss. We'll just skip forward because we've already filled that out. January 7th and 8th, they will be versing the Buccaneers to end their season. Who do you got and why?
And I believe the Buccaneers will sweep the division now. Sweep the series with the Atlanta Falcons, and Atlanta will end on a 6-game losing streak on my. So they lost 6 straight on mine.
They lost 6 straight on mine too, just not quite when you had them.
So yeah, 5-12 is what I got.
I also have them at 5-12. I have them losing their last game of the season. They did win a game in the month of December, and so they will beat the Saints. They swept the Saints to me. Had 5 wins. Mariota, I don't really trust him or believe in him. Atlanta right now, I just think's in the process of probably getting a new quarterback soon. We'll see who that may be in the future, but for now, I have the Atlanta Falcons ending their 2022 regular season at 5-12.
Yep, the Beard Bros are guessing 5-12 together again for the Atlanta
Falcons. You have different wins. You have the Panthers being swept, and you're splitting the Saints game. Yep. I think everything else we had Seattle, we had the Bears. Yeah, I guess that's it, huh? No, we had one more. Oh, one of the Panthers. I don't know. But either way, I didn't even know what he had. So there you guys go. Again, I hope you're enjoying this series. This is only 2 of 33. We have 31 more coming. Hope you guys liked it. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. You guys, let us know what you think you're gonna have. Comment in the comment section what you have Atlanta Falcons going. Just kind of run through their schedule, tally your wins and losses, and put that in the bottom of the description. And that'd be great, man. I appreciate everybody. You guys, see you guys tomorrow. Till next time, Beer Bros out. Peace.